this demo, we're going to look at out-of-band updates. We're using our to-do list as a demo that we've used before, but this time we're going to look at the number of items and the last modified. This means that we have multiple sections on our page that we want to update without doing a full page refresh. How do we accomplish that? Let's go. So I am in our HTMX Razor demo repo, and I'm going to select the to-do out-of-band OOB demo for put, patch, and delete. If you've seen our demo with the to-do list for put, patch, and delete, then you understand how this works. But just so you can see, inspect it. We have our form that's going to post because we're adding an item. And if we add an item, you'll know that we did a post. We targeted our to-do list. We added our do stuff. And then our task and our last modified changed. It's a lot of moving parts and they're not all related. Just to show you, so our total tasks has an ID of a task count. Our last modified has an ID of last modified. These are two different elements. They are not the same as our target. Our target on this form is to-do list. To-do list is down here. So how did we update the last modified and how did we update the total tasks? That's where OOB or out of band comes into play. Whenever you have multiple parts. So let's do some more things. So we have a bunch of items in our list, 3 specifically. My last one was sleep. If we look at our network calls, you'll see that there's OOB. This one is a post. If we look at our payload, that's for sleep. And our response, there's our list item that it added, the sleep, with our HX put, HX patch, and HX delete buttons. There's our task count and our last modified. But how do these know to update? It's this attribute here, this HX-swap-OOB equals true. So it's going to look to see, can it find the element with this ID? If so, we're going to swap it out. And it's going to look like this. So what does that element look like right now? There's the ID, there's our task count, there's 3. That's how it got swapped out. So that's where that happened. Now the question might be, but how does this even work? Let's go look at the code. So we've got our to-do OOB. You're going to look at this and go, this looks a lot like our to-do list with the exception of our count and our last modified. You're right, those are new. But then the question is, what changed? Let's look behind the scenes. We have our onPost, our onPut, our onPatch, and onDelete. Those are pretty much the same except delete. Delete, we added another gotcha to it. So this is part 1 of our OOBs. For delete, delete doesn't come back with any other messages, and so we want to be able to make sure that we update both our task count and our last modified. That's the only content that we have coming back. We don't have anything else. Now you're going to wonder, but doesn't the delete button delete things? And the answer is yes. The reason is because of this task HTML. What's going to happen? Well, if it gets redrawn, it's going to change. So let's do this. We want our HX swap to be delete. So go back behind the scenes and find our delete, and that's set to delete there. Our CS HTML. But in the CS, we need to do the same. So our delete, I'm going to change that. Instead of outer HTML, we're going to do it to delete. That way we can still show HX swap in action. We've got our hot reload working. And so if I go into our code, and if I inspect our delete button, so you can see, our HX target, our HX swap is delete. So who needs sleep? Delete it. The task got deleted, and if we go to our network, you can tell by the headers that this is our delete call. Look at our response. There are our OOB options of to and task deleted. And it did delete the element itself. Okay, so we showed you delete. Now let's look at put and patch. So when I do patch, I'm going to say more things to do. And just so you can see our response, there's our do more stuff, more things to do is our new description. But then if we scroll further, There is our task count OOB, our last modified OOB as well. If we wanted to do a put, I was going to say do things never resting for the description. You can tell it OK. We look here, there's our do things are never resting. And if we look here, there's our task count, and there's our last modified. So in this demo, you got to see put, post, patch, delete, and how they all work using HX swap OOB. You also got to see the HX swap delete for delete. This is just the beginning of being able to edit multiple sections with one request without doing an entire page refresh.